Welcome to Michael
and Gina's
Excellent Adventures. Excellent Adventures.
I think the thing that I like the most about this trail is because it was like a pass-through trail, if that makes any sense. We were on our way to Boone, Iowa to do the Rail Explorers, and we need to get out of the car every couple hours just to stretch our legs. And we always look for trails that are on the way so we can take the bikes out and ride them. And this was a great trail for that. And actually, it kind of surprised me at how pretty it was.
We left from, southern Wisconsin, and so then we drove, what was it, 2 hours, 3 hours to Dubuque?
Yeah, rockets.
We started in Sageville, which is just a little west of Dubuque, and got to ride for a couple hours. We didn't get to do the whole trail, but it was very nice. I was impressed with how smooth this trail is. For a crushed limestone trail, this was like best I've seen. No chipmunk holes, no washed out. It was just really nice and smooth. I've been impressed with all of Iowa's trails. Just seem like they're great. But we did Heritage Trail, we did the Rail Explorers ride, and then we did High Trestle Trail. So this was all our Iowa trip.
Bouncing pumpkin.
Hey, what do you say? This whole town could be red by the end of the day. If you feel alright, we can throw it and drive. With the radio so loud they can hear us from miles. The good times roll on.
Half train.
Down, we'll never come down. When the sun comes up, we'll be feeling.
So is that the detour?
Yeah, take a left and then a right.
Okay.
Cross the bridge and then take the gravel to the right.
All right.
There was some road construction. We were trying to drive to Durango, but couldn't get there.
Okay.
All kinds of
Right.
With road closed, so we went back to Sageville. And then they had this gravel
It
road,
was like a cut through.
which normally I guess is not open. I'm not quite sure what the deal is, but they opened that up because part of the trail evidently was closed either due to the road construction or just, I don't know. So kind of this little gravel road, but it was just like,
It went right past this farm. It looked like it was part of the farm.
yeah.
No idea that this was actually going to take us to a town.
Mm-hmm. But it was nice because it was just like, okay, this essentially like bike trail, but it was a road and through the valley and right along the hillside. Just was very pretty.
Hi.
This was such a beautiful day.
It was, blue sky, white cloud, just one of those beautiful days. This was earlier this summer, our Iowa road trip, so we were going to the Rail Explorer ride in Boone, Iowa, and do that. And then, was that the next day after that we did the High Trestle Trail?
I see you standing by me. I look at you and nothing will let you. So won't you come along with me? We'll take this ride together.
You could see the river just, you could see lots of, glimpses of the river and just flowing along and see the hills in the distance, and it really was very pretty.
Alright.
And a nice packed surface. We ride. I have a cat trike
Yeah,
expedition with
Faces
1.5
way
inch
up there.
tires, and Gina has a cat trike max, which has 2-inch tires. So we have wide enough tires that most gravel is not at all a problem. And this trail was so smooth, it's just very nice. We could just roll along. We have the electric assist on the trikes, so that helps give us a little boost, helps in the hills for sure.
I think it helps me with the gravel too, because when I ride on the gravel trail, it seems to be not like slower, I guess you could say, and it seems to be harder to pedal, but not extremely hard, I should say. But it just helps me if my hip starts to hurt or something like that. I can turn up that e-assist a little bit and it doesn't feel so bad.
Well, what I've noticed is riding on gravel, for what feels like the same effort, I'm 1 to 2 miles an hour slower. So it kind of makes sense. And especially with the trike, we're pulling 3 wheels instead of just 2. So we have more rolling resistance. And on the gravel, that, you feel that. It's not a ton, but it's a little bit. Here's this cool concrete mileage marker. Usually these mark like distances to the main, where the railroad starts or the headquarters or something. I think the C there was Chicago. There's an S too, but I couldn't figure out what that meant.
Yeah, it's a little downhill this way, but
And then the next day
Push
we
you
went
back up.
on the High Trestle Trail, and mostly we rode the bridge section towards evening, and just we went across maybe 3 times, but it was very pretty. Here's where these people do a double take of the dog. Watch these guys. Like, what? Was that a dog? Yeah. Which, we get that reaction a lot. Just peaceful and bird singing.
A lot of walkers. You won't see a lot today, but from what I understand from reviews of the trail is you need to be prepared for a lot of walkers on the trail, especially at night.
make that come out real great.
But I would think on a weekend, yeah, this might be really busy. We had plenty of parking spaces available, and we parked in a little lot in this county park, and it was only 3/4 of a mile to the bridge, so
Wait,
it was nice and close.
wait. Tell them about that parking lot that we originally parked in.
Oh, yeah. We originally parked in this larger lot, and it was more associated with the trail, but then there's a trail, like a gravel trail, and we thought, oh, we'll ride that to the path. Well, that ended up being like mountain bike trail and steep and loose gravel, and just was, we couldn't, ride through. We ended up pushing the trikes through,
How many
and then
times did I
moving
get
the,
stuck?
oh yeah, and
2 or 3
moving.
times.
Yeah, it was just not passable. With the mountain bike, you probably could, but with our trikes, no, we couldn't do it. So, but yeah, this bridge way up above this river valley. So just these beautiful views, kind of in all directions, and very smooth, nice wide trail. They had a lot of signs on top explaining the history and things like that, which were interesting to read. We didn't honestly see much of the rest of the trail. We had limited amount of time, and so we didn't ride much farther than maybe a little bit on each end past the bridge. So, but that seems like the highlight of this trail for sure. It's kind of this cool construction and these artistic, frames that they talk about being sort of reminiscent of, mining supports and beams and things like that. The bridge has these lights that come on near dark, and I forget the exact hours of when, but it has that cool look when those are lit up. It would have been nice to come when it was totally dark also, but we just kind of were worn out by then.
And only part of the bridge lights up.
Yes.
And we were surprised about that. We thought the whole bridge lights up, but it's only at the west end.
West End. Yep.
Yeah, that
Yep.
lights up.
Yeah. But it's enough of it that it's cool. And these, wider areas where you can stop and look and yeah.
And this was good for recumbent riders because we could actually see through the railings instead of having
Yes.
to stop and try to look over a brick wall.
Mhm. Yeah, a number of bridges for recumbents, they're at like our head height, eye height, and so you can't see anything because we're sitting down so low. So you appreciate something like this where you can still see out. And of course, I have the camera up on a selfie stick to get even higher to see over the railing.
That's a cool shot, honey.
Thanks. And like I said, we went across a couple of times. Mhm. Thanks for watching our videos, and we appreciate, following along. If you have comments or questions or thoughts or more explanation on the trail, we'd love to hear about that. This definitely was on our bucket list to do for quite a while, the High Trestle Trail and the Rail Explorers. Brought to you by Naughty Dog Productions.
Whoa.